Hello, grade 3 students. Today we're going to continue with singular and plural nouns. We're going to take some more rules about how to change some singular nouns into plural ones. Okay, so we go back to rule 1, which says that for most of the nouns we simply add an S to change it from singular to plural. For example, cup, you just add an S, it would be cups. Or shoe, shoes. Or spoon, spoons. So here you simply just add an S to change it into plural form. Rule 2 says that we add an ES if the noun ends with an X, a CH, an SH, a Z, or an S. For example, box ends with an X, so we would have to add an ES, boxes. Dish ends with an SH, so we would have to add an ES and make it dishes, which is the plural form of dish. Okay, so here we just have some more examples about when do we add an S or an ES. For example, hand, hands, rabbit, rabbits, football, footballs. We just add an S. For example, wish, it's a noun that ends with an SH, so we would have to add an ES. Boss ends with an S, so we would have to add an ES. Bosses. Glass ends with an S, so we would have to add an ES, glasses. Now we start with rule number 3, which is new. We took it last year, but we haven't revised it this year yet. Now, if the noun ends with a vowel and a Y, you guys should know the vowels, which are A, E, I, O, U, the 5 vowels. So if the noun ends with a vowel and a Y, then we just add an S to the end of the noun to make it into a plural form. For example, toy, it ends with a vowel O and Y, so we just add an S. Key, it ends with the vowel E and Y, so we just add an S. Bay, it ends with a vowel A and Y, so we simply add an S to make it into plural form. So again, if the noun ends with a vowel and a Y, then we simply add an S to change it into plural form. Now, however, if the noun ends with a consonant and a Y, a consonant is any letter other than the vowels, the 5 vowels. So it can be B, C, D, any letter other than A, E, I, O, U, it's a consonant. So if the noun ends with a consonant and a Y, then we would have to delete the Y, cross out the Y. We took it last year, we cross out the Y, and we simply add an IES. Okay? So baby, it ends with the consonant B and Y. So we delete the Y and we replace it with an IES, babies. Diary, it ends with the consonant R and Y. So we cross out the Y or delete the Y and add an IES, diaries. Dictionary, it ends with the consonant R and Y, so we cross out the Y and we add an IES. Sky, it ends with the consonant K and Y, so we cross out the Y and we add an IES. So this is a very important rule, so you have to watch what comes before the Y. If a vowel comes before the Y, then you just add an S. If a consonant comes before the Y, then you would have to delete the Y and add an IES. Here we have some more examples about nouns that end with a consonant Y, where we would have to delete the Y and add an IES to make it into its plural form. For example, city, I would cross out the Y and make it cities, IES. Family, families. IES. Penny, pennies. IES. Daisy, because it ends with the consonant S and Y. Daisies. IES. Okay, so these are some examples of nouns that end with a consonant and a Y, where we have to cross out the Y, delete the Y, and add an IES. Okay, now if the noun ends with an F or an FE, for most of the nouns that end with an F or an FE, we would have to delete the F or FE and add a VES at the end. So delete the F or the FE and add a VES. For example, leaf, leaves with a VES. Half, halves, VES. Wife, cross out the FE and add a VES, wives. Life, cross out the FE and lives. Thief, cross out the F, thieves. And so this is the final rule where we have to add a VES. So we saw examples where we would have to add an S to the end of the noun to make it plural. That's for most nouns. We saw an example where we would have to add an ES to make it plural. That's if the noun ends with a CH, SH, with a S or a double S, an X or a Z. We saw a rule which says that we have to add an IES. That's if the noun ends with a consonant and a Y. Then we would have to delete the Y and add an IES. And now we just went over this last rule where we would have to cross out the F or an FE and add a VES like knives, leaves, lives to make it into its plural form. Now we have some nouns which are known as irregular plural nouns. That means there's no rule. They don't follow a specific rule. The only way to know them is to memorize them, to use them a lot and to memorize them. Some nouns, they don't change. Okay, the singular and plural form are the same. For example, fish, we don't say fishes, it's fish. Sheep, we don't say sheeps, it stays as sheep. Deer, tuna, salmon, trout, these are kinds of fish, tuna, salmon, and trout. So they stay the same in their singular and in their plural form. Now, we have some other irregular nouns where the word completely changes, like person becomes people, child becomes children. Ox, the plural of an ox, that's an animal, it's an oxen. Foot, feet. Tooth, teeth. Goose, geese. Mouse, mice. Louse, lice. These are insects that grow in the hair sometimes. Man, men. So these are examples of irregular nouns that don't follow a specific rule and the word completely changes, and we just have to memorize them and use them a lot in order to know them. Again, these are irregular plural nouns. Sometimes the word completely changes and sometimes it stays the same, like in fish or in sheep or in deer. Okay, so the plural of mouse is not mouses, it's mice. The plural of a cactus, that's a new one, it's cacti. Okay, the plural of a cactus is cacti. So these are some examples of irregular plural nouns. So these are some of the rules we saw: adding an S or an ES or an S if it ends with a vowel and a Y, or adding an IES if it ends with a consonant and a Y, and also a VES if it ends with an F or an FE. Now you guys have to solve page 138 in your reader's notebook. It's very simple. You have to just write singular or plural for the first part, and in the next part you have to change each underlined noun from its singular form into its plural form. You also have to do page 160. It's talking about changing the Y into an IES, okay, because the noun ends with a consonant and a Y. So you have to delete the Y and add an IES. You also have to do page 161, and it's a practice about irregular plural nouns, okay? We talked about them, you guys should know them. The word that's in brackets at the end, you have to change it into plural form and write it on the line. Okay, these are irregular. Finally, you also have to do page 167. It's also practice about some irregular plural nouns. Okay, so good luck, and please get your work done alone, and I will send you the answer keys once you guys are done with your work. Please do it by yourself. Watch the video and then do your work independently on your own. Okay, good luck.